Hi, good morning. Thanks for joining me. This is kind of a first for me because it's a kind of a vlog. It's Saturday morning and right now it's me and the animals. You may hear a dog whine because they want my granddaughter to get up and she's not ready to get up, so they're just gonna have to wait. I wanted to come mostly to say that part 2 of my iPad cover, isn't going to happen. I managed to somehow delete all of the footage, and it was after I'd saved it, but I saved it, I did it the same way I usually do it, but somehow it came up in a format that nothing, even YouTube, couldn't open, didn't recognize. So I finally, after a couple of days, gave up. I spent a lot of time on it. But I can show you my iPad cover. I like the way it came out. I showed all of the stenciling and painting that I did and some jelly pen that I outlined with. And then this is the back. So over the initial things that I did some paint circles and some spatter techniques, and I did some stamping. I stamped some additional butterflies and birdhouses, and I did the word tweet. I thought that was kind of fun. So anyway, this is what my iPad cover looks like. I think it came out pretty good, and I will carry it with me and I will use it, and my granddaughter Samantha will be jealous. Anyway, I had fun doing that. I wish things had worked out that I could have shared part 2 with you, but it's pretty straightforward. It's just the normal paper crafting techniques that I used on my iPad cover to kind of update it a little, cover up its age, wear and tear. Wouldn't it be nice if it was that easy to do ourselves, on ourselves, I guess I should say. And now, I don't remember who it was, if it was Marsha of ZC Creations or Amy. I'm really not sure. A while ago, someone was doing a video and they were showing laying fabric on top of another piece and then sewing it down, and I don't remember if it was paper or what it was, but I had made a comment that I had done things like that years ago, and I did it like a calico fabric on muslin. And what I was doing, there was this class by Angela Durecki. I don't know if she's on YouTube. I'm not even sure if she's still around. This had a copyright. The class I took has a copyright of 2004, so that was 12 years ago. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself, and no, I can't do a tutorial on it because it is copyrighted, and I would never want to step on Angela that way. But I have the book. Actually, this is the way it used to be done before YouTube. Everybody wrote it, and it was a lot, and then you printed it out on your printer, and there was a Yahoo Groups site that you went and you asked any questions or chatted with other people taking the class. But as you can see, she goes into how she draws faces, and I like her technique because she never really draws the face. I do have an example of how one of mine came out. I have a few unfinished pieces, and I have a couple of other pieces I will show you. But this was Angela Durecki. It was called Windows, and it was a lot of fun. So anyway, I would move the camera. Well, maybe I will move the camera. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to put the focus down on my table, and I will show you the pieces that I did in that Windows class, and that will pretty much be my vlog. So just 1 minute. And so this is the view of my table in front of me. Now I won't start with that because that won't make any sense. or those, because those are my finished pieces. But this is what my fabric looked like. Okay, I have a sewing machine that does specialty stitches. You could do this just like quilting with a needle and thread if you were so inclined. And I do like to do that. And I had envisioned at one point going back and doing some ribbon embroidery or some like lazy daisy stitch and some various embroidery stitches on top of it to give it dimension. And you never know, I may still get to that. And this is what the back looks like, because all I did was lay the pieces of fabric down on top of the muslin, and then I stitched around the edges. And I would lay the next piece down and I would stitch that on. I didn't seam it, I didn't tuck it, I didn't fold it. It's just laying down and sewn on top, right around the edges. And that's what this whole piece is. And I had such a good time with this. I really love this. If you have fabric, and I've got tons of fabric, and you want to use it, I enjoyed using it like this. So that was one. And here's another. And it's fun because you can experiment with colors and patterns, and you just kind of make a crazy quilt. And if I ever finished a quilt, it would be a crazy quilt, because I love crazy quilting. I even have a doll that has a crazy quilted cape. Actually, I have a few that have crazy quilted capes. So that's number 2. And then this is an example of the face I did using Angela's method. And this is the piece that this face is in. Now I did a few, but this is the only one that I have left. And this may have been the first one that I did. And I have to say I really like the way it came out. And it's just more, you do the fabric part first, and then she goes into how you cut the window, and you put this piece in. And that's where that piece comes in, because once you cut the window open, you add that piece. And that's where this comes in, because the face is actually done on here. And I believe that was just with my Prismacolor pencils, and it was probably before Prisma pencils sold out and went to wherever they went to that makes such cheap, lousy pencils now. So I will cherish these pencils because these don't break. I can tell the difference between my old ones and my newer ones. So that's what the fabric with the face in the window looks like. And then I made this. I took a piece of the fabric without the face, and I made it into a little pouch. And it just has a felt tab and a button and then a string. And all I made this for was to put over my shoulder. And let me see if I can find, this is a newer, it fits. I made it to put my cell phone in and hook it, so when I was out doing my gardening or yard work, I could, and I didn't have any pockets, I could take my cell phone with me and not have to worry about it, you know, being dropped or left in the dirt. And then I also made this bag. This is another piece of fabric that I patched together, but then I did some hand beading on it along some of the design lines, crystals mostly, and some seed beads. And then I did a dangle on the side. I used some rat tail cord for the handle, and I knotted it. And I used one of these purse frames in an antique bronze color, which I really like, and I beaded all around both sides of the case, the frame. And then you open it up, and I lined it with a red fabric over the muslin back. And then on this side, there's a piece of yellow fabric, and that's a pocket. I didn't leave enough room. This was like the first small bag I made, so I didn't give the fabric enough give. So, I mean, it works. You can get your hand in there, and my cell phone will fit in here. and that's an S7, a Galaxy S7, so it's fairly good size. But, and that's good. I mean, you could put a credit card in here and some tissues, your keys, and it'd be ready to go. So it's not terrible. I just wish I'd made it a little bit pouchier, I guess. So anyway, that is the fabric patchwork that I wanted to share, that I had said I would share a while ago, and then I've just been kind of busy and a little scattered, so forgive me. But I hope you enjoyed what you saw of my iPad cover, and I may do another video today, I'm not sure, but I really appreciate you joining me, and I hope you've enjoyed a look at some more color in my life. I hope you are enjoying a very colorful life. Have a very colorful day, and I hope it's sun shining wherever you are. So God bless. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. That would make me even happier.